Episode 2, the 5 biggest myths in bodybuilding. Here we go. Okay, folks, myth number 1. Machines can help you build thick, dense muscles. Bullshit. No, wrong. That's not how it works, folks. Listen, yes, do we have great machines? Absolutely. Do machines help you build muscle? Absolutely. Nothing can replace crazy heavy weights.
Yeah, buddy! Like weights!
You gotta use free weights to pack on that muscle, especially when you're young and you're coming up the ranks. This is the way it has to be done. You have to have a power building mentality. What does that mean? It means you got to incorporate power lifting into bodybuilding, which becomes power building. That's how you put on the mass. That's how you put on that thick, dense mass, especially when you're building your foundation as a youngster. You cannot use just machines. This is a formula I'm going to give you guys right now that you got to use that's going to help you build that great foundation. So as you go and you start to progress in your bodybuilding career, you can put on that physique. You can create that physique that you really look for, that you've been looking for your whole life. You want to start out with a power movement. You want to start out with a powerlifting movement. Move on to a bodybuilding movement. You finish off with the isolation movements. Powerlifting, bodybuilding, isolation.
Powerlifting, bodybuilding, isolation.
That is how it's done. This is the way you get that thick, dense muscle. You cannot build an incredible, dense physique without having a strong foundation. How do you build that foundation? Through heavy-ass free weights. Myth number 1. Myth number 2, shakes are just as good as solid meals. Wrong. Nope. That's not how it's done. Okay, who's the perfect example that I can give, especially to you younger kids, to realize how wrong that is? Hunter Labrada. I like Hunter. I think he has an incredible physique. I think he has an incredible future, lots of potential, but he was missing his peak over and over and over again. And he openly admitted that he likes shakes. He has a problem eating. He doesn't have the appetite. Well, you can't do that. I know another guy that used to do that, who used to actually blend all his food and drink it, which was Don Long. Another friend of mine back in the day when I first started out in Virginia, Maryland, DC area. You can't. You need solid food. Your body is adapted through thousands of years of evolution to solid foods. The shakes are a great supplement, but they are never, ever, ever going to replace solid meals. You need to eat real food. Forget about drinking your shakes, drinking your meals all the time. Once in a blue moon, it's okay. If I personally love to drink my egg whites, especially now that they're pasteurized where you don't get sick and get salmonella poisoning, I'll drink my egg whites. But 95% of the time, I will always cook my meals and always cook organic. You cannot replace shakes with solid meals. Your body will reject it. You will retain a ton of water. You're going to get bloated. That's not how it works. Stick with real food. Myth number 3, hard work can overcome genetics. Wrong. No. Now, let me explain this one. Let me get into a little bit of depth to make sure you people understand. Hard work, of course. Hard work will always get you past, always get you to a certain point, always get you to levels that normal people or average people can't get to because not too many people want to work. Not too many people want to work hard. But when you get to the elite levels, genetics takes over. Listen, I don't want to be, the guy who breaks too many hearts, or, the guy who's going to be the Debbie Downer for a lot of you guys out there. But I'm telling you right now, it's good to have reality-based thinking when you're approaching your bodybuilding or anything in life when it comes to physical attributes. Genetics has a lot to do with it. Once you get, if you're genetically and you can work hard and you're gifted enough to get to the top echelons of the NPC, the national levels, and finally get your pro card, once you enter the pro ranks, it's a genetic game. Then you have to compete against the 1%ers. And then when you get to the Olympia level, it's the 1% of the 1%. That's how it works. You have to deal with reality. It's a game of genetics once you reach the top echelon of your sport, especially in bodybuilding. Of course, work hard. Of course, bust your ass. Of course, put in the, get in there and grind it out. But be realistic with yourself, okay? I get it all the time. I want to win the nationals. I've never competed before. I want to get to the Olympia stage. It's good to have those dreams. It's good to have those aspirations, and hard work will get you far. But never neglect the fact that the greatest power in this sport is genetics. Myth number 4, don't need training partners. Training partners are not necessary. I can do it by myself. Wrong. You need training partners. The bodybuilding, let me explain it to you in basic terms. If you're doing 15 reps, the first 10 reps, you're just getting to the point where everybody else, 99% is getting to. It's 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 that get you past those limits, get you to that next level. You need a strong training partner. I've had 20 training partners my entire life. Good ones, mostly good ones, some bad ones, but training partners push you past the forced reps. Let me repeat that. Training partners push you past forced reps. You grow in that zone. And that zone of forced reps is when you say spot, the training partner gets behind you and keeps you moving. You will know when you go back and talk to any training partner I've ever had, they all will tell you the same thing. King always says, keep me moving. You always hear that coming out from me. Keep me moving. What does that mean? It means even if I can still get it up 75, 80% myself, keep your hands on me and keep me moving. Psychologically helps, and it does the most important thing, push you through the forced reps, push you through past your limits, and mentally it makes you squeeze harder. That squeeze brings out those lines. Those lines make you different on stage, and that's where the hardness and the grainy look comes from that squeeze at the end. Use training partners. Myth number 5, this is for all you gearheads out there. I had to throw it in there. More is better. Wrong. That's not true. Go talk to any guru. Go talk to all the experts. Go talk to the George Farahs, the Hani Rambads, the Milo Sarchevs, the Chad Nichols. You go talk to any of those guys, and they'll all tell you the same thing. That is incorrect. You have to become familiar. You have to become in tune with your own body, your own metabolic rate, your own receptors. Each individual genetic barrier that you come to has to do with your own personal self, the stuff that your parents passed down to you. That's how this sport works. That's how bodybuilding works. You got to figure out your own formula, okay? More is not necessarily better. Now, I'm going to be realistic too. Does more mean getting next to you get to a certain point and then you realize that to get to those guys, get to the next level, you're going to have to bump things up a little bit. Yes, that is true. But not to the point of stupidity and to suicide levels. That's not true. That's not how it works. Remember what I said. Number 3 is very important. Genetics. You work with your genetics. More is not always better. I personally have responded a lot better, a lot more to dropping it and working with my metabolics, working with my genetics, getting my blood work done and finding out what needs to be done and getting my levels perfectly checked and perfectly there. Once you balance yourself out, then you realize, okay, listen to your body. Not more doesn't always necessarily mean better. It means you have to find out what works for you. Each individual has their own formula. Those are the 5 biggest myths, according to the Kingster right here. And I'm going to give you guys a little preview. Next episode, episode 3, will be the 2023 Mr. Olympia preview. I'm going to break it all down. All the qualifications are done. We know exactly who's going to be in the show. We know who's pulled out of the show.
Pull up, not out.
We know everything now. I'm going to break it down for you guys and let you know the good, the bad, and definitely the ugly. See you soon.